We were very, very pleased when we passed the 250 schools mark. As I say, we've set ourselves a target of building 1,000 schools and changing the lives of 1 million children. We've now opened the office, and we've supported in excess of 15 charities that have helped over 40,000 people in Toronto, which has been a great success for the team working out in Toronto. The first hospital that we helped equip in Gambia was another one which we were very pleased with. And every single project that goes out is something that we get particular pleasure in when we know the impact that it's having on the ground. We've recently launched a special projects team, so we're now equipping the rebuild of schools in Haiti after the earthquake, and we're working with a charity called ORT out there. The first container has been shipped to equip a school to teach builders how to build in a seismically active area. We're now in discussions about how we can support the rebuild of schools in Pakistan after the horrendous flooding that they've had recently out there. So every one of these we get a real buzz out of, and when you consider that all this is done with stuff which would historically have ended up getting recycled or gone into landfill, then it's an environmental win as well. And we've stopped tens of thousands of tons of equipment either getting recycled, which can be very energy intensive, or ending up in landfill, both here and now in Canada as well. So we're very pleased with the statistics that we can quote on our performance. Well, I think any organisation that is planning to dispose of anything needs to ask itself several questions. Firstly, how can they minimise costs? Because it is a very expensive game, and there are no get-out-of-jail cards associated with this. There's a whole raft of legislation out there which makes sure that organisations comply with this. Secondly, how can they ensure that risk is managed? Transfer of title and transfer of risk and liability is an essential part of this process, and any organisation or facilities manager that isn't taking that into account needs to take a step back and think, what am I exposing my business to if this is managed incorrectly? Increasingly, they need to think about how can they get information, and how can they measure and report their carbon footprint associated with the project, because equipment and furniture that's getting reused has a beneficial impact in terms of extending the life cycle of the equipment, and has a beneficial impact for the client in terms of their carbon footprint if they're having to report their CO2 emissions, etc. And finally, they need to think about how can they turn the cost of doing this into something that's going to create a real return on investment. Now, we offer the only solution that can manage all of those on their behalf. And so if organisations are disposing of anything, then what I would suggest is they contact us to see how we can benefit them by deploying our environmental management process into their business. We've got some very exciting plans in the future. We're currently well down the line on a share placement because we are looking to launch this entire operation globally. We work with global clients, and the feedback we get from them is that they want us to work with them on a global basis. So we have 134 offices planned, and we're now going out and doing a fundraising exercise in order to launch those, which is going very, very well. And we want to create a global offering that can truly support our global customers in a way that they've never had before. Because we also have the ability to report to them on a global basis, which is absolutely unique in this field. If you want to contact us, the best thing to do is either call us in the UK, that is 0870 240 1445, or email us at info@wasteofwonder.com. In Canada, you can contact us on 905 629 4334, or email at info.ontario@wasteofwonder.com.